Hello everyone and welcome to this, my first attempt at a YouTube video. I'll be playing Astroneer, which is a game I bought yesterday. It's a pre-alpha version, so a bit of a preview of what the game will be. Like I said, I bought it yesterday and I played it for a few hours, and I have to say it is an extremely enjoyable game. So I thought I would record a video and give you a bit of an idea of what it's all about and how to play it. So here we are, starting a new game, launching down onto this planet. And you will in the future have the ability to build a spaceship and go to 5 other planets in this solar system. So you can look around as you're coming down to see if you can spot anything useful. We're not doing too badly. There is a crashed spaceship up in the top centre of the screen. You can normally get some rare resources and some of the little pods you can get to research. You can get new blueprints for extra facilities that you can build, or some rare materials. To the right of that there's a little resource pod. You can normally get 2 resources in there, which again could be rare ones. I can see compound sort of top left, which is what you need to build some of the basic structures. There's some resin here in the top centre again, which is the resource you need to add nodes onto your habitat, which will be the centre of your base. So we're not doing too badly here, we started in quite a good position. So we shall get out of our habitat. So, as you can see, if you're near one of your structures, you are tethered to it, which gives you basically unlimited oxygen. So you can see on the top of the backpack there is a blue bar, which is your oxygen level, which if you're not tethered will eventually go down. And the yellow bars at the centre of your backpack are power. Now that will slowly regenerate, but using your terrain tool will use that power. So what we'll do first is we will go and grab some of this resin. So you press E to get your terrain tool out, and you just left click to remove ground. As you remove the ground and expose the materials, they are automatically collected, put onto your backpack. So you can see there we've run out of power, but the bars will very slowly regenerate, whereas oxygen on your backpack doesn't regenerate, and if you run out of oxygen you will eventually suffocate. So we've got a few bits there. No, we've got 2 bits. So what you can do is you can extend out and create a new node which takes 1 resin. Oops. I'll put this tool away, that might help. And you've got to be careful not to be in the way when that expands, otherwise you can get stuck in it and you've got no option but to quit and start again. So you can see there it's created a new node, and what we'll do is we'll create another node, because what I found to my expense once was you can only build 5 things off the habitat, and if you expand that into a platform to build a facility onto, you can't then extend it again. So it's a good idea to build a few nodes first before you start building your facilities. So we'll just nip back and see if there's any more resin here. You do end up using a whole lot of it, especially at the beginning of the game, to build all of your platforms. But the deposits are normally quite big, so you can get maybe 6 resin from each one. And this is the problem until you've got some proper power sources going. There we go. So we've got 2 there, so what we'll do is we'll turn this one into a platform. And these are the platforms where you can build your different facilities. So you've got a printer, which you use to make, you can make things like solar panels to provide power for your base, and some of the components you can put vehicles. You've got the research, which what you do is, I can't see any close by, but on all sorts of plants, sometimes just on rocks and near crashed spaceships, you'll have little resource pods, research pods, which you can put on the research platform, and that will either give you rare materials or it can give you blueprints for either new facilities you can make, or new vehicles, or some new bits to go on vehicles. The smelter, you can get metal ores, and you need the smelter to turn them into the metal which you need to build certain things. You've got the vehicle bay, which, as it says, is for building vehicles. You can build like planetary rovers or trucks or even a spaceship. And that's all you can build at the beginning. You've got to research the rest. So one way to be able to venture further afield from your base is to extend these tethers, and to do that you need compound. So we'll collect a whole load of this compound. You also need compound to build some of the facilities on them pads. Power is always a problem at the beginning. You need a printer bit to be able to build a decent sized solar panel, but with compound, actually, before I forget, you can build a little solar panel. So you press Q to get into your backpack, and you can cycle through different things you can build with the arrows at the bottom. So solar is a little solar panel which will slowly regenerate your power, and you can also use it to power your base. Lithium you can use to build a battery which stores power, so if you've got solar power you can put it into a battery during the day and use it at night. Tethers, which are what we need to extend our connection to our base so that we don't run out of oxygen or power. A tank is basically an oxygen tank, so it will make your oxygen last longer. A generator you can build, and you can feed organic, so all these plants here you can collect up into a resource called organic, and that will produce power. And again, you can use that to power your base as well as charge your backpack up. A beacon, which you can use if you look above the habitat, there's a little house. But what you can do is you can place these beacons down, because if you get too far away from your habitat you won't be able to see that little marker. So you can place a beacon to help you find your way back, or you can put it near anything that's particularly interesting or some rare resource that you might need. A wind vane, which is a bit like a solar panel, except it uses the wind to power things up. And there we go. So we'll build one of these we'll build two of these solar panels, and you can see there it's immediately gone up to these two little nodes on the backpack. So that now during the day will charge up our backpack as we use power, and we'll build another one to stick on the base. So we'll take it off there and we'll pop it there. So now as the sun comes up, that will move and point at the sun and give us some energy, which we don't need at the moment because we've got no facilities. But if we're tethered to it, then it will also bring that energy to us. So let's just grab the rest of this compound. It's always worth just carrying on because there is normally quite a lot buried in the ground. But again, it's night time and we've got no power, so we've got to wait for this slow regeneration. Which is really painful. Right, instead of doing that, what we'll do is, we saw a crashed spaceship over there, so what we'll do is we'll build some tethers. And we will head out and investigate the crashed spaceship. So you can see there, you press T to place the tether, and there is a maximum distance they'll go. And you know they're connected because they'll have the blue line on, the same as when you're connected to your base. So we'll just carry on. So the tethers just cost 1 compound to make, which is quite good, so they're quite cheap. Looks to be a cave entrance over there as well. You can only get quite a lot of the metal ores down in caves. It's very rare on your starting planet that you'll find them above ground. Oh, didn't place that one quite close enough. Is that a cave entrance? Yes, it is. So we'll go in there a bit later. But for now, we'll carry on to this crashed spaceship. So I think building tethers gives you 10. I'm not 100% sure. and I've heard a lot of people saying that because this is a pre-alpha, there are some optimization issues. And I've heard some people say that it, oh, there we go, we've run out, so we'll build some more. I've seen some people saying that it gives them really bad FPS issues, but I have to say I've not actually encountered any of them so far. And here we are at a crashed spaceship. So we can use your tool and dig down, and there's always 4 slots and a seat. So there we go, we've got a rare thing there, which is titanium. Got some hydrazine, which you use to fuel spaceships, and you can also trade it. Some copper and some aluminium, which is very good. And we'll come back and get that seat later because we've got nowhere to put it at the moment. And here we go. This is one of the research pods. Now there are quite a lot of research pods, a lot of different types, and you can get more than one of each one, especially ones you get off plants. They're all pretty much the same. However, the first one of a new type always nets you a blueprint to build something new, and if you then find another one of the same one, you won't get another blueprint, you'll just get a material, which could be anything from compounds or resin all the way up to metals or lithium or titanium, some of the rare stuff. So we'll bring this back. You can press shift and forward to run, but you do move a lot slower while you're carrying something. I haven't realised we've quite come so far. So here we go, put that there. How much compound have we got? We've only got one, we could do with another one. And then we can build the research. So keep an eye out for some compound. Oh, there's a resource pod here. Let's have a look in here. So you just left click on it. Nope, and we managed to grab it before. There we go, so some more aluminium and some hydrazine. It's good, we've now got 2 aluminium, which is what you need to build most stuff. Most of the facilities require 2 resources. Aluminium's needed for the vehicle bay, I think. So here's some compound. I'll just go and grab a quick bit of this. I should may as well fill up because we're going to need more tethers at some point. Oh, except our backpack is full. So we'll just bring that back with us. So you can see there the solar panel on the top is no longer pointing straight up, it's pointing at the sun. So it charges up as we use it. So we'll get back to the base and we're going to build a research facility, which you can put then research pods on. And then it's a bit of potluck to see what you get. There are all sorts of things you can get. You can get basically the ability to build new habitats, so you can build new bases around the planets. Or you can get a truck. You can build a rover when you build the vehicle bay. But there we go, research. So we'll build that. And what we'll do to just speed it up a bit, we will put that on there as well. So it's got 2 of them charging it up, because it has to fill up with power before you can actually do the research. We'll just bring that compound back. So storage gets to be a problem fairly early on, and storage is something you have to research before you can build, which means you can fit it to one of these little two areas, and you'll be able to store 8 things on it rather than just 2. So there we go, you can see you get this little button once it's charged up. So we'll do that. And then it's going to randomise what we get, what blueprint we get from it. Filters. So that is basically it's a rebreather. Basically, it just makes your oxygen last longer, which I have to say I've not used before. But I suppose if you're planning on going on a bit of a longer journey where you don't want to put a million tethers out, it might it'll help you. So while we were over here, I think I saw, there we go, on this rock here there's a little module that we can research. So we'll just grab that back. We won't have any power at our research thing at the moment because it is now night time and I doubt it had time to charge up. Oops, leave it behind. One of the things that's actually faster to move when you're not carrying it. So what you would do is you drop it, you run a bit, and then you pick it up again. But I'm very aware that my mouse clicking can be heard, so I'm trying to stop from doing that to make sure I don't annoy everyone. And yeah, the research thing isn't fully charged up. Oops. So, oh, it's nearly there, so that'll charge up again in the morning. So what we'll do is, that's close enough, and that one probably is, that we can just go and grab whatever's in there. But first we need to make some space. Oops. We haven't got any resin at the moment, so we can't do that. Drop off this hydrazine because it's fairly useless at this early point of the game. So at the top centre there of the screen with the arrow on, it's blue. That is a renewable source of oxygen. So you can use your terrain tool to grab that oxygen and it goes onto your backpack. And it'll use that before it uses what's in your oxygen tank, which can be handy when you're out and about. And there's another one a little bit further up. So what have we got? Hydrazine and copper. Excellent. So I think now we've got 2 copper. We'll grab a little bit of resin. Just got to be wary of our oxygen. So we'll pick this up and then jump in the hole we just made. And with this we can, well, we've only got 2. You need 3 to build a new node and then a new platform. So let's put this on the floor. And if you look from here, you could build out another node. But once you've built a platform, you can't extend out from it. So if you, like I did the first time, you just build 5 things straight off your habitat, you then can't do anything else with that base because you can't delete any of these. And what I'll do there is I'll create a new node out of here and stick this resin on. And then we'll use this one to build our platform, and we'll still have the ability to create nodes off this node. Oops. Right, so now that we've got them 2 spaces, what we'll do, we'll stick the aluminium on there. We're going to need the copper first to build a printer, which then means we can build a big solar panel, and then we can use the aluminium to build a wind turbine or the vehicle bay. Right, so where are we going? The resin was over here, so let's go and grab some. Yeah, for each new platform you need at least 3 resin. There's quite a lot of it here, so it's not so bad. Let's try and get one more before we head back, which again is pretty painful. Gotta be wary because we're running out of oxygen. Yeah. Right, we'll have to abandon that because we're going to need to get back or we're going to die. I'm not sure if running actually uses your oxygen quicker. But you can see the sun's coming up. So what we'll do is we'll just nick that back. Then when the sun comes over the hill, we should be okay. So the solar panel that I've got on Habitat there, you can actually put on any of these nodes or anything like that. That little one just needs 1 space, but the bigger one needs a 2 space. And also, if you've built one of those, actually, just grab that, stick that there because it can't point at the sun where it is. Stick it on there. So you can put it up here and it will only then power this facility. Stick that on there. Get that done a bit quicker. So we'll research that, and while that's doing its thing, we'll turn this into a... Well, we didn't get 2 resin, which is annoying. Trade platform. So with that you can swap resources basically. So you can trade compound or resin or hydrazine or any of the metal ores or metals themselves for other resources. Just stick these back down here and we'll go and grab a whole load more of that resin. I think what we'll do to make it a bit easier is we'll run a tether line out there. So when you've run a tether line you can actually pick them up and stick them back in your backpack and use them again later, which is pretty handy. So yeah, the idea of the game is to perform the research and then you can head off to other planets in the solar system. And there are different types of planets, so this planet is called Terran, which is always the planet you start on, I think. But there are arid planets and irradiated planets and all sorts. Right, okay, so we'll fill up with resin there. So we'll grab this back and we'll run back to the base. Build a printer and see if we can build a larger solar panel, because I think although we're going to have to go and find some compound before we do that. So we'll stick that on there, turn it into a platform, and you can just I'll put the copper down instead of the aluminium before. So swap that. Well, that wasn't a very good playing of the game there, was it? So you can just click there and it will stick them, and press the button and it will make a printer. Like I said before, this at the printer you can make all sorts of different bits for your base or different components for vehicles, but you can't see what they are until it's charged up. So you go, solar panel, which needs 2 compound, storage, which also needs 2 compounds and takes up 2 spaces and gives you 8 storage spaces, a wind turbine, which is a big version of the wind vane, which, depending on where your base is, that can be pretty useful because there are some areas that are windy pretty much all the time. A battery, which you can, again, like I said, you can use to store energy. A generator, which basically you put coal in it and it produces power. A seat, which when you build a rover in the vehicle bay, it's just a platform basically, and you need a seat on it to be able to drive. And there you go, solar panel. But again, with the research pods, there are different things you can build and learn how to build. So I think what we'll do now is we will find a bit of compound and head down into the cave that we found before. That over there is like you've got the renewable sources of oxygen. That's a renewable source of resin. Let's grab this. And we're full again. So I think what we'll do now is we'll make storage. That's what was wrong before, you don't need to research storage, you need a printer to be able to build it. So let's just stick that on there. Click on there and make a storage. So we've got spaces on, we've only got 1 space, so we'll grab this aluminium, stick that on the floor, and we'll put that storage on there. So now we've got 8 spaces in place of 2. hydrogen and the titanium. Placing things is a little bit buggy, but again it is a pre-alpha game. And it's night time again, so we've got no power. So we have got some spare compound for tethers. So what we'll do is we'll head to the cave. Sometimes you'll find a random bit of ground that you can't run past. And we're skidding down the hill. That'll happen sometimes, and you've got to be quite careful because you can end up going off a big drop because you can't control yourself very well. You can stop yourself doing it by jumping, but again you've got to be careful doing that because you can kill yourself that way. So it makes these more tethers. Some compound there, which is handy, not ET. There we go. So yeah, the tethers provide light as well, which is pretty good. Right, we've got to be careful here. Them growing green plants will spit a poisonous gas at you. But if you take out the ground underneath them with your tool, but we can't quite reach, so we're going to have to make ourselves a ramp down. Oh dear. We'll have to go back quite far to make a ramp because obviously the tunnel here extends underneath where we are. You've got to be careful not to make it too steep either, otherwise you can't get back up it. Oh, no, like I said, you can then fall off. So there's malachite, which I think is aluminium. No, it's copper ore. And there's these plants here. So underneath plants like this, you'll have one of them research pods. So we still need to go further back to make our ramp down. We'll have to move all our tethers. Oh, that was almost disastrous. What's this drop like? Oh dear. There we go. That wasn't so good. So let's run away from where them plants are. Oh, they're over there, so it's not so bad. They're quite far away. They've got to get quite close before they'll spit the gas at you. These plants here will have research under them as well. But you've got to be careful because once you've removed all the ground around them, they blow up with some poisonous gas which will kill you. Let's place that tether. It's one thing I always forget to do once I get down into a cave. So what we'll do is we'll dig under this one. That's a different type of research, that's good. Although I'm not sure if we've had that type before. And then, there we go, he's spitting gas at us, but we've managed to get rid of two of them. Away! That still seems to be coming quite close. Right, so we'll go in and we'll get this guy. Oh no, we won't. We'll try again. Gotta make sure you run away. Ah. Right, third time's a charm. There we go, run. Ah. It'll kill you pretty quickly, that stuff, so you've got to make sure you're out of it fairly sharpish. And what research did he have under him? Another one the same, but we'll still might get some rare resources. So that will do for this video because we're reaching half an hour, and in the next episode we'll take this stuff home and we'll see what we get out of it. Thanks for watching everybody. See you in the next episode.